Hey guys, my name is Shanjai Raj. In this video, I'll be teaching you how to make a website, a cool little courses website, a landing page, or whatever using the Animate On Scroll library. So the way it works is on scroll, as you can see, it has a delay and all those kind of good animations. So it floats up. So we have this flowing from the right and from the left, and this zooming in. And as we also go up, the animation goes out. So as you can see, it goes other side. So it's a cool little project that we can work on today, I thought. So let's just get started. So I just have an empty folder with a project folder with some images, and let's just get started with index.html. We're just going to be having an index.html and a style.css. Previously I was working with Bootstrap only, so I thought I wanted to change it up a little bit. So style.css. So first of all, I want to get some basic HTML. AOS project. I just want to name that AOS, meaning Animate On Scroll. I'm going to link this to my style sheet, and then first of all we need a header tag with the class of main, and in that we need a h1, and inside the h1 we need a span because we want to change the color of the text, so we want it to be like that. So inside the span tag I want to type some text such as front end, and after that I want to say web development courses, and after that I want a paragraph tag with some random text lorem 10, which will give us random 10 tags and stuff. After the header tag, after the header tag we need main with the class of content, and after that we need, this is where we are going to wrap up all of the divs with the image and all those kind of stuff. So first of all we are going to be using grid. So by the way, we need 2 elements, so let's start doing it so we'll get it. So for the individual ones I'm gonna name it courses, and inside that, this is the first course, so inside that I want h3, which first will have HTML for beginners, and after that we want to wrap it inside another div where we have the button and the paragraph. So the paragraph I need lorem 25, which generates random 25 letters, and I need a button saying enroll now. So this is gonna work for every single thing. So what I want to do is copy and paste, but before that I want to wrap this h3 inside, I want it to be an h1 saying HTML for beginners. So inside the courses I want the image. So the first image I want it to be is, it's in the images folder, and first one is html.png. By the way, I have all the images. I'll leave a link to the images in the description. It will be in the GitHub page. Also the source code will be there, by the way. So this is the basic one we have. Yeah, this is what we have. So I'm gonna copy paste this for everything: HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, and Vue. So first one's done. Second one I want to change it to CSS, and CSS I want to change it to javascript.png, and I want to name it JavaScript, and here we need what do we have, React, and here I want to say React for beginners, and Vue, let me use Angular, not PNG because I didn't use it for the previous video. Angular. So if I go to the live server, it will just be a plain HTML with all this kind of stuff, which is what we need. So let's start styling the website, and that's about it for the CSS, and we'll start adding all the library stuff at the end, and that's what we need. First we want to break it down into some basic stuff, which is margin 0, margin 0, padding 0, and box sizing border box, which is the basic one. So I'm gonna get some basic font families done, because usually for buttons font families does not go. So I'm using a font called Rubik. It's a great font. And for the body, I need the font family, the same font family as well, which is Rubik, and I say sans serif. And for the background, I need a background color, which is gonna be E7, E7, E7. And after that, for the header tag, we want it to be aligned to the center, so we want some spacing, which is height 50 VH. I want to display flex, align items center, and justify contents, not items, justify content center. And I want to say flex direction column, because we have two elements. So basically what's going on is we have 50 VH of spacing, so by putting display flex we can align it to the center, and flex direction column meaning we have two elements inside it, which is the paragraph and the H1 right here. So if I go back, you can see now that's working. And for the fonts, for the text, actually for the header H1, I want the font weight to be around 100, and that's it, I think. I want the margin on the top and the bottom around 15 pixels, and let's target the span now. So inside the span we have the web front end text only, so we can style that. So for that color, what is the color we need for that? Let me check. For that we need the color code is C32525. And by the way, also for the H1 we need to put a base color, which is hashtag 333. I'm using hex codes here, so we need a little bit of spacing there, so let me add a little bit of spacing. Okay, so the header is done. So now let's move on to the paragraph, header paragraph. So in the header paragraph it's just like basic stuff, so we want the color to be as same as the H3, and we want the font weight to be bold, and that's gonna do it for the header. Now for the content section, we want to display it as flex direction column, and width 60%, and margin on the top we want 30 pixels. And now let me explain this for a second. I think I'm going too fast. Let me zoom in a little bit. Yeah, so what's happening here is we want to display it flex, so it's the parent we're targeting, which is the content here. So we want to make every single thing display flex and display columns, so it's like stacked up below. So let me show you how it is. So it's like stacked up over them, so it's like that, because if you don't have display flex and if you're using grid, it's gonna make up a mess. But we are gonna be using grid for this for the specific stuff, so it's gonna stack up over and over again. So after the content, we want to target the individual divs, which is courses, and inside that we want to use grid because we want to I'm sorry, because my D is not working, my key D is not working, so display grid. And for the grid template columns, for the grid templates columns, I want to repeat 2 times 1FR, which is 1 fraction. Now you can also do 1FR 1FR, but repeating 1FR is like, it's gonna make it a lot easier. So I'm sorry, it's not the one. So if you see, it's like basically it's done. So it's basically done. We just want to make some little bit of tweaks for it. I want to say courses image, I want to make its width to around 70%, so it's gonna fill up like the sections. So here we need some margin bottom because it's like stick to everything. So I want 30 pixels of margin, I would guess. Yeah, 30 pixels of margin, so we have some spacing right here. So now we want a background color because a background color like separates it. So code is F1 F1 F1, and after that we need a box shadow, which is gonna be 0 pixels on the top, 8 pixels on the left, 35 pixels on the bottom, and we need RGBA saying 0, 0, 0 and 0.315. If you see that, now it's looking actually good. Yeah, it's sticked onto the side, so we want to correct that also. So we want to target the courses div now. Dot courses div, the separate divs that we have right here, which contains of the main part, which is the text. We want to give it padding, which will take it to the middle at least. So if we save that and look, yeah, it has took it a little bit to the middle, I guess. After that, what I want to do is target the courses H1 and give it a margin top a little bit. H1 margin top around 15 pixels and font weight around 200. So it's like this. Wait, I want to make the image with 80%, so like kind of fix it. And the padding, let's check, it might be correct. So this is okay. After that, we want to target the margin P tag as well. Courses P tag, margin 15 pixels and 0. That's done. Now that we want to target the courses button, make it a little bit fancier. We want to make 13 pixels and 25 pixels. I'm sorry, it's not padding in line. Padding. I want to make the border to none. Sorry if you guys are hearing some sounds, it's just washing machine. So the color code will be C32525. It's gonna be the same color. And for the text, we need to make it white, and we need a box shadow for this as well, which I'm gonna copy it from right here and reduce the opacity a little bit. If I hover over it, I want to reduce the opacity a little bit. So if you see, as you can see, it's got a little bit of, I'd say 20 pixels. Increase opacity. I'm gonna make this 15 pixels and make this 8, and it's kind of I guess okay. So transition 0.5 seconds is in. I don't want to waste time on CSS a lot. Just the last one, which is we want to make the end child, which is like the odd one is over here, so the even one we want the image to be on the right and this image on the right and stuff like that. So end child, I want to say even, and I'm going to pass in the image, and I want to say order is 2. So if you say that, so it's pretty good. And basically I just want to give it a little bit of a tweak. With 60%. I want to change this to around 90%. That's kind of good. Okay, so now let's start adding the animation. That's too much time. So if I go to Google and I say Animate On Scroll, I'm gonna go to the GitHub page where they have all those good information. Go right down. We're gonna copy this and I want to paste it in my script tag right to the bottom. And the basic thing is we wanna pass in an object inside, and I want to say duration, I want to say 1500 and a comma. And basically how we add this animation is just through an attribute we pass in. So it's called data AOS, and we don't need data, we don't want animation for the first one, because on the page we are going to be in the first one, we are going to be seeing it. So I want to say fade in for the second one. So on scroll we want that to happen. For the second one we need fade left. What's the problem? We also need a CSS from the documentation, which is right here. So I'll paste that in the top right before the style.css. So if you see, I've added to the image which I made an error. So in the documentation we've got a lot of animations you can do. Fade left, and here I want to say fade right. Here I want to say fade up, and here I want to give a different one, which is zoom in. So where am I getting this from? I'm getting this from the documentation. You got all those things you can middle up with. So here we got all the animations you can use: flip animation, slide animation, zoom, anchor placements, easing functions, everything. So here we are done. So if I scroll, you get the animation there. If I scroll, you get the animation there. Scroll there. So if I scroll back up, the animation is gonna go slowly. So I think this is a cool project you guys can work on. Even if you're working on a simple project, you guys can add this. And that's about for this video. Hope you enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.